Hello students, today we will start with the poem Past, Present, Future by Emily Bronte. The poem has 3 stanzas. Each of the 3 stanzas is a quatrain, that is 4 lines long. This poem is about time. Time in terms of past, present, and future. The poem is in the form of a dialogue between the poet and a happy child. Now, let us read and try to understand each stanza. Let's start with the first stanza. Tell me, smiling child, what the past is like to thee. An autumn evening, soft and mild, with a wind that sighs mournfully. The first stanza is about the past. If you observe the first line, the narrator or the poet refers to the child as smiling child, which shows that the poet is talking to a child who is happy. The poet is asking this child what is the past like according to him or her. The child replies and says that according to the child, the past is like an autumn evening. Students, do you know which is the autumn season? Autumn is the season after summer and before winter. It is a season of cooling temperatures and darkening nights. The birds, soft and mild, suggest ideal weather, or in the case of this poem, an ideal life. The child, while referring to the wind, says that it sighs mournfully, which shows that even though the child had a happy past, but it was not without hardships and troubles. The past for the child is something that he thinks of with longing, because he cannot go back to it. The word mournfully means sad or unhappy. Students, let's move on to the second stanza. Tell me, what is the present hour? A green and flowery spray, where a young bird sits gathering its power to mount and fly away. In the second stanza, the poet is asking the child what the child thinks of the present day. The child once again uses nature to answer the poet. The child compares the present to springtime. Students, can you tell me which is the spring season? Spring is a season succeeding winter and preceding summer. The phrase green and flowery spray shows that it is springtime. The word spray means a small branch of tree bearing flowers. The child refers to a young bird who is gathering its strength and is getting ready to fly. The word to mount means to get on something or to climb. The reply of the child shows that, like the young bird, the child too is gathering his strength and waiting to leave his home and start a new phase in his life. The child, like the bird, spends his present preparing and waiting for his future. Students, let's look at the third stanza. And what is the future, happy one? A sea beneath a cloudless sun, a mighty, glorious, dazzling sea, stretching into infinity. In the last stanza, the poet asks the child about his future. How does the child see his or her future? The child's reply shows that the child looks at the future with lot of hope and sees a bright future with many possibilities. Students, how do we know this? Look at the phrase. A sea beneath a cloudless sun, a mighty, glorious, dazzling sea, stretching into infinity. The word beneath means under. Dazzling means something that leaves you in awe or is extremely beautiful. The word glorious means something that is worthy of receiving praise. And infinity means something that has no end. For the child, the future is like the sea, which has no end and which is beautiful and exciting and something to look forward to. Students, with this, we conclude the explanation for this poem. Now, on your screens, you will find some assignments that you need to complete. The first assignment is you have to pick out the rhyming words from the poem. The second assignment is you have to give 2 examples of metaphor. Students, I hope you remember the different figures of speech that we did last year. Metaphor is a figure of speech. Do you remember what is metaphor? Let me remind you. Metaphor is comparing 2 unlike things without using like or as. For example, heart of stone. There are 3 examples of metaphor in the poem. You have to identify any 2 examples. Your third assignment is you have to give rhyme scheme for the second stanza. Now, what is a rhyme scheme? Students, let's revise what is a rhyme scheme. A rhyme scheme is the pattern of rhymes at the end of each line of a poem. The rhyme scheme or pattern can be identified by giving n words that rhyme with each other the same letter. In the first stanza of the poem, the first pair of rhyming words are child and mild, which is in the first and the third sentence. So, the first and the third sentence, we give the alphabet or the letter A. The second pair, rhyming pair, is thee and mournfully. Thee is in the second sentence and mournfully in the fourth sentence. So both the second and the fourth sentence we will give the alphabet B. So the rhyming scheme for the first stanza will be A B A B. Now same way you have to give the rhyme scheme for the second stanza. I hope you have understood all the 3 assignments. Thank you for listening, students. Thank you. Goodbye. Take care.